welcome to episode 10 of Gardener's Plot. What needs to be done today? So, I'm going to plant out some sweet peas today. And some other seeds. I need to go through that in a minute. So, went shopping the other day. We'll come back to them in a minute. Got some new subscribers this week. So, welcome everyone that's subscribed this week. So, I'll give a little bit of update on the garden. Get everyone that's joined bit aware what's going on in the garden. Let them bug. Present from our little friend Rachel. Hey Rachel, I know you watch. So yeah, I did a little update in the garden. Plant some sweet peas out. I have got some other seeds somewhere that I need to try and dig out. I can't remember what I've done with them. A little update on all the new seedlings. Some more on the animals. I actually done some filming this morning while I took the dogs out for a walk. So that to the end. There's some very grainy footage of a deer that we saw this morning. So look out for that at the end of the episode. It's an old t-shirt, that's why they rip. Yeah, another beautiful day. Good old England. So yeah, let's crack on. This is Teddy. He's still cuddly at the moment, but once spring really hits, in about a month's time, he'll start getting nippy again. He sees me as his girlfriend, so every chance he gets, he likes to try and bite hold of my thumb and drag it around his cage, don't you, Boston? Because you think it's your girlfriend, but I'm not your girlfriend now. I love you, but not in that way. So that's a little bit of Teddy. I'll pop him in, back in his cage. Where Teddy lives, it's a nice big cage. Got lots of places to hide. That's just boxes that you can play in. You do need cleaning a bit, don't you, Teddy? That's our little Teddy. Go out into the top half of the garden, which is the wildlife garden. So fern garden is coming back to life gradually. I do need to tidy up this pathway a little bit. It is a little bit chaotic up here. Some of these I might actually trim off, ready for a regrowth, and just chuck them back on the garden. So what the plan is for the garden is to have a wildlife garden at the top, which would encourage all your wildlife inns of all your predator species and things like that. So that'll therefore help keep top of all the pest species like slugs. So that's why we've created lots of different wildlife spaces. So this is the wildlife pond. So we have got some baby sticklebacks in there. If you can see them swimming around. Tadpoles are still doing well. See if I can find one. They're normally around here somewhere. Oh, there's one on the rock. So the tadpoles are still doing well. No more frog spawn as of the moment, but still got a bit of time left. Then this is down to our butterfly and bee border. So lots of flowers down here to help bring the pollinators in, which then will come in to the veg garden, which will help pollinate all the plants and things like that. This is our rock garden. So the acer is gradually come back to life. Same as the bottle brush. The seed have done really well over winter. So I might plant some more plants, and that's some nice bright flowers, things that would help encourage the bees and butterflies into the garden. This is going to be a wildlife meadow, so I'm going to let this grass grow long, plant some wildflowers in it as well. So some nice, try and cover all the different habitats for wildlife to encourage them in. We've really got slow worms in the garden, we've got frogs. Spoken to a friend, possibly how release some some hedgehogs in that have sort of come in being orphans. So once they're big enough and to go back out into the wild, hopefully we can rehome some here. Rhubarb's coming on. No sign of parsnips yet. I'll have a proper look later on, but do need a little bit of weeding. Need to push those fruit trees back as well. I say fruit trees, so it's red currant, black currant, rhubarb and gooseberry. That's some of the kids. Falcor's a white rabbit. Sparty's the brown one. And then it's 4 of the chickens. I don't know where number 5 is. She's probably inside eating dog food. Just see Raja in the background there. We'll introduce you properly to Raja in a minute. So that we're going to level that and gravel that, because any time there's a bit of rain or moisture and the dogs come out, it just turns into mud. So I'm going to gravel it and have this as a entertaining space. I might leave a strip of grass along here just so the dog's got somewhere to go to the bathroom. They don't really like going on anything hard. So yeah, and we've got Saskia, the little famous Saskia. You okay today? We'll go and say hello properly. So there we go. Right, let's go in and say hello to Saskia. Right, where has she gone? Sass! There we go. This is a little Saskia. She's a hand-raised squirrel, so that's why she's more tame than your wild squirrels. This is also why she's an aviary. You can't sort of release her because she's not scared of humans whatsoever, and she'd end up in someone's house trying to eat all their cake. She does like our food, that's Saskia. So I brought her some treats, so she likes something to gnaw on. So we'll hang these up, and I'll try and get some footage of her eating them. Look, the only time she comes to say hello is when I've got food, isn't it? Yes. Our little Saskia, where'd she go? Saskia! So yeah, I'll hang these up and then see how she gets on with them. Alright, we'll leave her to eat her little bits of corn and peas. She doesn't like sharing food, do you, Saskia? There you go. So, while I'm up in this part of the garden, I'm just going to give it a quick tidy up, sweep the path a little bit, creep back down to the river that we plan on building this year as well. So, do a little bit of maintenance up here, and then we'll go back down to the bottom, and I'll show you the seedlings and things go down in the bottom of the garden. So I didn't actually do that much, but it's just a little bit of a sweep, just a little bit of a tidy. Recreating the... Let me get the better angle. So this side's a bit more raised, and then it goes down into a dip. This is all. So I do plan on getting some more ferns and things like that. That's the old bits of fern there, so they'll just rot down. Any spores on them will then grow as well. Yeah. Budlier had done all right over the snow weekends that we've had. A few deadlies, which I'll just take off now. But there's lots of nice new growth spurt coming up through. So just take some of these dead leaves off. So, well, Budliers live in concrete, so they should be all right. Some of these few dead leaves that just got caught by the wind, snow, frost. There we go, but lots of nice new growth spurts, so hopefully that'll go up to our lovely mushroom. Found this up the woods. I think it's should be like a hanging basket, like hanging seat. Maybe turn it into a nice mushroom. Lots of new buds on the cherry tree. Apple tree, we still got some coming out. He's still coming back to life. There's also a cherry tree there, and I do need to trim those bits that are coming down just to give it a bit more of a shape. That's a rose, so that does actually look quite nice mixed in with the cherry tree. No idea what that is at the bottom. If you know, give me a shout. I might actually cut some of that back before the new growth comes in. Might just make it a bit more tamer. There you go. Drop them up here. Saskia's still eating her thick one. I like to give her enrichment up here. That's a unicorn feeder. present from the other half at Christmas. My birthday, one of them. I think it was my birthday. There you go. There's plan to get some quail in here as well. I do need to go in and actually clean up a little bit. Just leave food everywhere. There you go. It's a little bit of maintenance done to the wildlife garden. Still needs a bit of work, but that's what gardens are for, isn't it? Ongoing. Let's get some of these jobs done. Crack on. That's that tidied up a little bit now. Bit of a better shape to go on with. Give that a bit of a prune. There's also a plant down there. Can't remember what it was. I'm useless with plant names. So that died back during winter, so just remove that. So hopefully that'll come back. All the bulbs are still coming up. The hydrangeas, not hydrangeas. Hydrangeas? I can't remember. Because of H. Bluebells are still coming up. The tiny little bluebells. There's another one over there. So all this stuff I'll just chuck in the compost bin. Just go down. So with that, a bit of bramble that I cut up from over there. I give to the rabbits because they quite like bramble as browse. The only other thing that's going on up here, the wild garlic's coming up now. So hopefully that'll spread along here. Primroses are coming back as well. So hopefully the plan is for the primroses to spread along here as well. And just create like a really nice natural woodland type feel to it. Retrained this the other day, noticed that this one had come out, the bottom support. So this was actually, when we first brought it last year, it was there, just one little trail. And then during the summer it just took off. So hopefully this year it'll go up along over the Susker's Avery. It's a nice ivy. So yeah, hopefully that'll just start spreading over and create a nice sort of like woodland glade, if you like. This is just random tub of peanut butter that I brought for the birds. So as you can see, various things have eaten it. So I put it up there because the magpies were the last ones to eat it and they were getting a bit spooked. Yeah, maintenance done up for here. I'll just pop that in the compost. I got on with the veg plot. New broom. I do like a nice new tool. New broom. It's sad that I get excited about new tools. It's more of the kids. So, right. Let me get that job done and then we'll re-adjourn in there. And these little guys. So radishes are starting to come out. So these are doing a lot better than last time. Nothing else has quite yet made an appearance, but we'll still give it time. Peas are doing really well though. So these will go out soon. I think it's next month I can start planting these out. And they seem to be doing alright. So next month I think I'll move this one actually outside with a climbing frame so they can start going up there. Or individual stakes. I've got enough stakes for them. The list for this month. So seed wise, I need to do today is some carrots. I've got loads of free seeds from Garden News. Great magazine. Great little read. So I'm planting them out. I've got sweet peas to go out. Have a little wild flowers. Some sage I need to plant up. Some parsnips and some kale. So those animals. Also these are, I think these are like wild sweet peas that I gathered when I was out on a dog walk. And then these was from a big spiky grass plant seed pods. So those I might just chuck in to the rock garden and scatter them and see what goes on. These ones, because I think it's a wild sweet pea possibly. and plant it in the wild meadow so it can go up the fence, and that'll make it a bit more pretty. Sweet peas, I put one this side of the chickens to go up that bit to join the honeysuckle. I think I'll put some on the other side. I might even put some by Saskia as well. Got a bit of colour for the garden. Really do quite well, sweet peas, so we can start putting these out. So right, let me get these seeds done so I can plant those up. Because these are to be sowed outside, so these guys I'll leave in this one. Because I think it's still a bit too early to bring out the baby seedlings. They can stay in the lean-to where it's nice and warm. That's right. Time for these seeds. Let's go! So that's those scattered. I probably should have done it completely differently, but I'm getting a bit of soil on top, just give a bit of cover. So they're free, so just chucked them in, let them get on with it. Same with those grass sort of black seeds, I can't remember what they're called. So I sprinkled them on there, so hopefully they'll drift around and just grow randomly. Same with those wild sweet peas, plant them along there, some along the back of the fence, some along here, scattered a few so if they go down, they grow, and so quite nice, they'll hopefully grow up along through the grass. We'll see what happens. This is what this garden's about. We see what happens. It's Falcor. Sparty is spayed. Falcor still has got his 3 plums. So he still needs to... She just runs away from him. Definitely tell spring's on its way. Falcor, that's enough. Children watch. We have 5 chickens. Okay, it's alright. Right, time to plant some sweet peas up by Saskia, I think. Also, some little bluebells coming up here as well. So hopefully, grapevine. There is some buds coming back onto it, so we'll see what happens with the grapevine this year. Did it alright last year, saying he was moved from our old house, so see how he gets on. Just try that round like that. There we go. So yeah. Right, Falcor. So yeah, let's get the other sweet peas in. Muddy thumb this time. So I'll plant some carrots and get the parsnips in and some kale. We'll get some purple kale and some normal kale. So we'll try the purple kale first, and then also need to get the sage in. Our sage in the herb garden is still yet to come out to life. So I'll get these done now. Some recycled pots from the dog food. How many seeds do I need? 4 pots. Like a compote. I know this is a permaculture garden as well, but at the moment everything needs to have a little bit of help. So carrots is best to, and parsnips, it's best to grow in toilet roll tubes because it keeps them straight. But at the moment, I used up all the toilet rolls at the moment, so I've got a few. But what we'll do is we'll start them off in here, and then when they're a little bit bigger, what we can do is we can then grow them on into a transplant them out into some toilet tubes ready to go in the garden. So the plan is to put them out into the side bit of the the back bit of allotment out there. At the moment I think the weather's still a bit unpredictable. Let me get down to your level. Sorry. So yes, once the weather is a little bit more stable, a bit more warmer, and I guarantee there is no snow, you can actually transplant them out properly, but for the time being they can stay in here, so they're nice and cosy and still that a little bit protected, but they can still be sown outdoors, but they're not quite outdoors just yet. So this is the cow one. I'm not going to never use the whole packet, always keep some just in case it's for the next month as well. I don't want to just put them all in. So that was the kale. Put them there so I remember which one's a bitch. I'll put that on top. Parsnips. I did plant some parsnips last month, but they're still yet to make an appearance. So, although it's some exciting news there. I'll show you in a minute. We've got some broad beans coming out. Got one or two. So get these parsnips in. These I'm trying to plant apart from each other so that they're easier to transplant out when they're older. So you put a couple in. Where did you go? Oh, you can stay there then. And then that one. Let me pack it down. These should keep me going for. Wilkinson's got quite cheap seeds at the moment. Not the best time to go is end of seasons and stuff like that, sort of like autumn. And when they're closing down, when they have a change of display and stuff. So their seasonal section is the best to go when they're going a bit out of date, so you can get lots of cheap things then, like equipment, seeds and stuff. So, alright, have some carrot seeds. Might just scatter these and then I can pinch them out and transplant them out when they're a bit bigger. I've got time to be fiddly. What the hell is that? Plastic in the compost, that's great, isn't it? There you go, it's carrots. In the back of the packet, so protected. And then, last but not least, more sage. So get the sage in. See, active in gardening in this episode. I mean, just wandering around in the mud and cleaning out chickens. I have done a couple of videos on cleaning out the chickens, so if you go back along the previous videos, you'll see some of me cleaning out the girls. It's riveting. There you go, last thing to do is just put a little bit more compost on top. So that was kale. Just giving them that little bit of a chance. I've put the carrots in there, so once they, probably shouldn't sow them individually, but we'll see what happens. In a month's time you'll hear me complain again, why they're not working. Alright, that's them done. Oh, I haven't got no purple stapler. Tell you what we have. These red this time. Can't even remember where I got these from. They're like 50p or something. I'll just use 2. So, should we be able to identify what your seeds are? Because I will forget half the time. I'm like, what the hell's in this one? So, what's a mark? Up the R, so sage, month as well, so I'll put mark. Carrot, see, I've forgotten already. Carrot, and these are the parsnips, aren't they? last but not least, kale. Put a little pea next to it so it's purple. Right, done. Last thing to do is going to have a bit of a spray. So, the water, our green compost bin, which is well for green rubbish, I've actually used as the water butt. So we collect all the rainwater. So that will just stand there as well, so they'll have no chlorine in it or anything that can harm them. There we go. Give them a nice good spray, set them off good, and then we'll transplant them into the greenhouse. Done. So that's them put in then. There you go. Still on the same shelf because they're all the same month. So I'm trying to colour code them so I know which month I've sown them. So if they're all purple, I know they're in March, apart from obviously these four, but I run out of these. Blue was February. Oh, look at my little bee, they're doing so well. So once things are starting to progress a bit more and weather does warm up, I'm turning this. I can actually finally tackle this. I think that's some old beetroot from last year. Should have a look, see what it is. Yeah, I think it was old beetroot. So yeah, I need to do this bit. These are plastic pots, so the reason why I've got so much plastic is they're good to plant seeds in, but also they're great for slug traps. I use everything from beer, cider, anything that I've got left over in the cupboard or in the fridge goes in. And then I leave them generally for about a week, and then I just chuck it straight onto the garden. Slugs are really good for compost apparently. So they do have a purpose, slugs. They're really good for your garden when they're dead. That's why we've got trying to encourage all the predators in to hopefully keep them down. Yes. There you go. I'll put them back into my unorganised pile. Done. Alright, screen nest done. Time for that bit. Yay. So, update on this area. So this is the water reservoir I was talking about. Do you know where this come from? So I will put some more duckweed on top of this during the summer. Once everything starts growing back, I'll put some more in here. So then once that grows, I can just chuck straight in the garden because duckweed is really good for compost. I've moved the spuds over there, so a bit more protected. We'll see how they get on. So that's for my when the seedlings are getting a bit better, well, a bit bigger I should say, I can put them out here to during the day, and then put them back in when it's cold, so they get used to going outside. And then once I've done that for a good week and they're used to the conditions, I can then plant them properly outside. But to fence off the herb garden because the rabbits were just annihilating it, so we'll let it recover for a bit. Once it's really good and established, you can then let the rabbits back on once a week or something to graze it and just keep it back. So everything else dies back. Got some garlic coming up through though, which is good. Mint is still alive somewhere. So hopefully now the weather's starting to warm up slightly, we can things will start taking off, and I might even buy some herbs as well. And plant them in, and then anything that I do grow I can just add as well. So we've got the bay leaf. Bay leaf's doing really well actually. A lot of rosemary at the back, the Buddha. This is our little bee feeder and drinker. I say feeder, sorry, drinker. So there was a couple of bumblebees in the garden last week. So just want a bit of gravel, and then you can have your water, and then so when the bees land, they don't actually just land in the water and drown, so they can actually climb along the rocks, have a little drink. And what's the saying? I don't have weeds, I have wildflowers. So everything's welcome in the garden. So that's why it's still a bit weedy. I don't mind weeds, they add to it, so I will keep the vegetable patch weed free because obviously they need a bit better, but the wildlife garden, if there's weeds, there's weeds. It's wildlife. Leave my broom there because the rabbits like to eat wood. The honeysuckles coming back to life. I've put a little pot in there for anything to hide in, little nesting site for a bird or something. I've already put the sweet pea seeds in. I didn't bother with that because you've just seen me do the other ones. So I've put some in the corners, hopefully go up the shed. Some down there, some in the middle, some on the other side. These are not doing too bad. I do need that nesting material for birds. She update every day. Oh, look! I have beans! So at least with this one, I think there's another one coming up at the back there. Wee little baby. So I've moved these guys away from there because that was just getting a bit wet. Like Falcor, Sparty. These are just waiting for things to go in them. So I'll probably put some, I think the French beans and runner beans, once they've started to shoot and stuff and ready to come outside, I can put them in there with some canes. So I might even leave them here. This is like a furnace during the summer. It just absorbs all the heat, and then come evening it's still really nice and warm. So they should do quite well in this spot. Put a bag of compost down here on here today, I think, to help give anything I've planted down here bit of an extra boost. There are some bulbs underneath there somewhere. There will come a point where I'll have to stop letting the rabbits on here, which is going to be difficult, but I can just put a bit more mesh up and keep them out. They've got the rest of the garden to play in. It's alright, let me get this compost and then we'll go from there. Just added that bag of compost. Chickens are going to scratch all over, but at least I'll mix it in. So there will be a time when I'll have to keep some of the girls off the beds just to stop them from wrecking the place. So the chickens live and the rabbits. They were cleaned out last week, so this is next week I'll put all this. Might even put this back in the compost actually, because most of the beds are right now. I could build up that bit behind there, so I might do that next week. Just use all the old bedding, pop it in there. These are the branches that they like to chew, the fruit branches. Inside the nest, so we've got some eggs still. I think there was one there earlier. Yeah, one there. So next week, all that will come back out to here, and then that will go then on this garden. So, onto permaculture. There you go. That's the last bit of this done. So I'll show you the other babies inside. Babies and girls. I'll come back to the chickens afterwards because I did say last week that I'll say a little bit about the chickens. So we'll come back to the girls. Leave them to destroy things. There you go. This is Raja. She's new to the channel, but not new to us. She's been a house rabbit over winter because she unfortunately lost her mum last year, just before winter, so we thought we'd bring her in. So she wasn't by herself, and she quite often plays with Boston. Can't let her out with those two, because Falcor is her dad, and Falcor also has no... Falcor's also not been neutered, so we don't want baby rabbits, especially from father and daughter. So she's still in here. So this is her cage. So during the week she has access outside, or if it's wet she has just a run of here. And then on weekends Falcor and Sparty can come out. But she stays in here. But she's got the 3 hop rule, which is what they say the rabbit should be able to hop 3 times. So she's got a nice big hay box in there which she can hide in and stuff, so she can hop on it and she likes to jump up in there. She's got some natural treats, some cardboard and things, different toys to play around with. That's Raja. Raj. She's a very cute little baby bunny. Chickens always like to be what's going on. So right, seedlings. Let's get on these. So these guys have done really well since I've brought them in. Lettuce has got loads of shoots. The mixed salad's starting to come up. Broccoli, we've got our second one coming up there. Everyone else is still taking a bit of time. I'm going to leave this open, I think, today to give them a bit of breathing space. These carrots are still not made an appearance, but hopefully they should be fine. What's going on here? Sprouts starting to sprout. So yes, these are doing, sprouts are doing well, but everything else is still obviously up. Lettuce is coming up from this one as well. So we should have a nice continuous crop throughout the year. That's why I'm planting the same every month. Well, not the same, because different things need different times of the year to start to grow. So I'm trying to plant the same every month that needs to be planted, so then I'll have a continuous supply throughout the year. So yeah, that's my little thing of moss and some sedum to try and take root. No idea what that is, yeah. Gimme. So yes, seedlings are doing well since being moved in. Alright. That's that. Okay. Done. Right, that's pretty much it for this episode. Nice little update on the garden. So, tell you about the chickens. This is the most shadiest one. She features quite a lot in my photos on Instagram. She's always got that shady look in her eyes. So we currently got 5 girls. We did have 6 girls last year. Unfortunately lost one last year. So the 3 older ones are Sapphire, Ruby and Emerald. When they arrived, they had livestock spray on them. So one had green, one had blue, one didn't have anything, so that's why she got called Sapphire. And then we then got 3 more girls later, about a year later. So that was Ransom, Sims and Jeffries, and that's a reference to the Foxbusters. If anyone's read the book, it's an amazing book. It's about chickens that take on these foxes and just like badass. So these girls actually came from the university. So the 3 older ones were used for welfare studies. So they were put in enriched cages. So Bristol University actually does quite a lot within animal improving welfare within battery hens. So the chickens are put in 2 cages, well, on one side of a cage which has nothing, and then they have to pull levers or go through a maze in order to get a resource, whether it be a dust bath, a feed source or a nesting box. So trying to contain 3 smart chickens that have been used to opening levers and doors was quite an experience. Time you come out of the garden and somewhere else, you're like, would you stop letting things out? So yes, these girls actually have helped improve welfare in battery hens. So now in battery hens they actually have dust baths, more space, actually got grouped in the house with other chickens. So not as best as being out in free range, but small steps. And then the 3 younger girls were used in, so they get a mother hen, and she's just put into brooding study. So she lays on eggs, the eggs hatch out. I'm not entirely sure that happens in that study. And then once the girls are pullet stage, then they're all rehomed. So probably get some more this year, because these are your commercial hens. So they've only got sort of a 2-year egg production timeline, and then they only live for about 4 years. So they produce eggs every day. During the winter it does go down, but once they reach their 2nd year, pretty much not going to get many eggs. Thanks for that, chicken. So that's why I'm going to eventually replace them. But once they stop laying eggs, they'll just live out their days here until they go over Rainbow Bridge, and then get buried in the garden, with a nice little sign or something. Because you've done as well, haven't you, girls? Yeah. So yeah, it's a little about the girls. I do plan to get some more. Like I said, try and get some more chickens this year to try and get some every year, so everyone constantly got some egg production. Then I'm also going to get some ducks this year. Khaki Campbell's apparently the best egg layers, so I'll keep my little eyes peeled out for those. You off then? Or are you just going to sit on my leg? Go, no, go. You're just going to stay there. I know. So yeah, that's it for today. I'll post some videos of the dog walk this morning. So there's a pheasant and a deer. So the deer, like I do say, is quite grainy video. I had to zoom in and it was quite a distance away. I know you had my phone with me, so if I had a better camera I probably would have took a better video, but I've got water on my moustache now, thanks for that. So yeah, that's it. Welcome to the channel if you subscribed, if you're a new subscriber. Don't forget to like, comment. You can tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'll try and do better next time. Follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. We have a page. So yes. Oh, I do have to do a slight rebuttal. The little cucumbers on the side. The smaller one is actually called Emily, not Ella. That's the other half getting it wrong. And it's called crystal meth because it's crystal. I've forgotten what it is now. It's a crystal something. So that's why we called it. My friend forgot what it was, so she called it crystal meth. So it's just going to say crystal meth cucumber. So it might turn out blue, we don't know yet. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll leave some video, like I said, some video of the dog walk. May want the sound a little bit down because Boston does bark and it's a very high pitched bark. And it does go through you. So I'll try and set the volume a little bit lower. And no, that's it for Gardiner's Plot episode 10. I think it's going to be a long one today, but oh well. There we go. Catch you next week. Toodle bit. Boston.